Have you ever opened your fridge in the morning, reached for that low-fat yogurt or that bright-labeled milk carton, and thought to yourself, this is healthy? What if I told you that some of the dairy products millions consume every day, especially those over 50, are doing far more harm than good? We've been taught that dairy is our friend. For strong bones. For heart health. For vitality. But the truth is more complex, and far more alarming. This video will change how you look at your fridge forever. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 5 common dairy products that silently damage the aging body, and 5 powerful, scientifically backed alternatives that can protect your bones, support your immune system, and help you stay active and independent well into your later years. This is not just about avoiding unhealthy options. This is about understanding what happens inside your body after 50. Your metabolism slows. Your hormones shift. Your digestive system becomes more sensitive. And yet, most labels and commercials still talk to you as if you're 25. The dairy industry has mastered marketing. But we're here to master the science. We're going to look past the shiny packaging, past the buzzwords, and get to the core of what really nourishes you, and what destroys you slowly, silently, and systematically. Because if you're watching this, you care. You care about your health, your future, and staying in control. So let's begin. Here is the truth about the most dangerous dairy products for people over 50, and what you should be eating instead. Section 1. Low-fat milk. The silent deceiver. For decades, low-fat milk has been paraded as the poster child for healthy living. Heart-friendly, waistline-conscious, and nutrient-rich. These are the promises printed on the cartons we see every day. But for people over 50, these promises may not only be misleading, they could be dangerously wrong. Let's start with the fundamentals. Fat is not your enemy. In fact, fat plays a crucial role in absorbing fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. These vitamins are essential for bone strength, immune function, and even cognitive clarity. When you remove fat from milk, you're not just removing calories. You're stripping away its ability to nourish you. What's more, manufacturers know this. That's why they often compensate for the lack of taste and texture by adding sugar, sometimes in hidden forms like lactose concentrate or maltodextrin. For an aging body that's more prone to insulin resistance, this spike in sugar can be deeply problematic. A study from the University of Copenhagen followed over 20,000 participants for 15 years and found that those who regularly consumed low-fat milk had a 32% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. But it's not just about sugar. The industrial processes used to remove fat from milk are aggressive. Centrifuges, high heat treatments, and emulsifiers are used to reconstruct a product that looks like milk, but behaves more like a lab creation. During this process, hormones, which normally bind to fat, are left to float freely in higher concentrations. These hormone imbalances can trigger inflammation, disrupt thyroid function, and strain an already slowing metabolism in older adults. Another issue. Satiety. Fat helps us feel full. When it's removed, we often end up consuming more. Not just more milk, but more food in general. The result. Paradoxical weight gain and blood sugar crashes. For seniors, this is particularly dangerous. A sudden drop in blood sugar can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and increased risk of falls. Dr. Walter Willett from the Harvard School of Public Health has long warned about the dangers of low-fat dairy. He explains that when we remove the natural fat, we force our bodies to compensate, often by craving less healthy fat sources, like processed snacks or fried foods. Let's not forget the additives. To extend shelf life and maintain texture, low-fat milk is often loaded with stabilizers, emulsifiers, and preservatives. Names like carrageenan, polysorbates, and sodium caseinate might sound scientific, but their effects on your gut microbiome can be devastating. Your gut health is foundational to immune resilience, nutrient absorption, and even mood regulation. As we age, preserving this delicate balance becomes even more critical. And here's the most ironic part. Studies from the Mayo Clinic show that older adults who consume full-fat milk actually have stronger bone density and lower rates of osteoporosis than those who rely on low-fat varieties. Why? Because without fat, your body cannot properly use the calcium and vitamin D that milk is supposed to provide. In essence, Low-fat milk is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It looks healthy. It sounds healthy. But once inside the body, it undermines the very goals it claims to support. The takeaway is simple. If you're over 50, prioritize full-fat, organic milk or yogurt with no additives. Your bones, your hormones, and your energy levels will thank you. Low-fat isn't always the better choice, especially when it's built on broken science and empty promises. Section 2. Flavored yogurt, a spoonful of sugar and chemicals. It's breakfast time. You reach for that strawberry yogurt with the cheerful label promising probiotics, calcium, and energy. You feel good about your choice. But hidden beneath the marketing is a sticky truth. Many flavored yogurts contain more sugar than a candy bar, and far fewer of the health benefits they claim to offer. Let's break it down. A standard 150-gram cup of fruit-flavored yogurt can contain up to 20 grams of sugar. That's 5 teaspoons. In comparison, a similar-sized serving of soda has around 16 grams. But unlike soda, yogurt is marketed as health food, especially to older adults who are told they need the calcium and protein it provides. What's often overlooked is that this sugar spike is particularly dangerous after age 50. As we age, insulin sensitivity declines. This means our bodies have a harder time processing sugar, leading to higher blood sugar levels for longer periods. Over time, this can contribute to insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. A study published by the German Diabetes Association found that people over 60 who regularly consumed sweetened yogurt had a 47% increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. But sugar is just the beginning. The vibrant fruit flavor in many yogurts doesn't come from real strawberries or peaches. It comes from artificial flavors and coloring agents. Real fruit content is often less than 5%, while the rest is a cocktail of lab-derived substances designed to mimic taste and prolong shelf life. These compounds can overstimulate the brain's reward system, creating food cravings and even addictive behaviors. You might find yourself reaching for yogurt not because you're hungry, but because your brain has been trained to crave the chemical cocktail. Then there's the issue of your gut health. Natural, unsweetened yogurt is rich in beneficial bacteria, probiotics that support digestion, immune defense, and inflammation control. But the high sugar content in flavored yogurt feeds harmful gut bacteria and yeast, effectively wiping out the very probiotics the product claims to support. It's like watering a garden with poison. The flowers die and weeds take over. This imbalance in the gut microbiome can lead to a weakened immune system, poor nutrient absorption, and chronic inflammation, all of which are already concerns for people over 50. The additives don't help either. Thickeners like gelatin or modified starch, stabilizers, preservatives, and artificial vitamins all add to the chemical burden on your digestive system. These substances may not cause immediate symptoms, but over time, they can irritate the intestinal lining, disrupt enzyme function, and contribute to bloating, indigestion, and discomfort. Even worse, the long-term use of high-sugar yogurts can dull your taste buds. Natural fruits begin to taste bland, which leads to even more consumption of sweetened products to satisfy your taste expectations. This forms a vicious cycle of sugar dependence that's hard to break. Let's not forget the impact on bone health, a major concern for older adults. Excess sugar can increase calcium excretion through urine, undermining the very reason many people eat yogurt in the first place. It's a cruel irony. In trying to protect your bones, you may be weakening them. Dr. Robert Lustig, a pioneer in sugar metabolism research, puts it bluntly: flavored yogurts are desserts disguised as health food. So what's the solution? Switch to full-fat, unsweetened plain yogurt. Add fresh berries or a drizzle of honey if you need a touch of sweetness. Your gut will flourish, your blood sugar will stabilize, and your body will get the real nutrition it needs. It's not about cutting yogurt out of your diet. It's about choosing the version that truly supports your aging body. And when in doubt, remember, if it tastes like dessert, it probably is one. Section 3. Processed cheese, plastic in disguise. It looks like cheese. It melts like cheese. It even smells like cheese. But processed cheese, the kind that comes in perfectly square slices or squeezable tubs, isn't cheese. Not really. For aging adults trying to make healthy dietary choices, this industrial product can be one of the most deceptive and harmful foods in the fridge. Let's start with how it's made. Processed cheese is typically created by melting down leftover bits of real cheese, often the scraps that can't be sold on their own, and combining them with emulsifying salts, preservatives, artificial colors, and sometimes even powdered milk and whey protein concentrate. What you get is a product that looks uniform, melts smoothly, and stays fresh for months. But beneath that convenience lies a chemical cocktail. The first red flag: phosphates. Emulsifying salts like sodium phosphate are commonly used in processed cheese to keep the texture smooth and stable. But high phosphate intake, especially from additives, not natural sources, can wreak havoc on aging kidneys and cardiovascular health. Dr. Jamie Uribari of Mount Sinai School of Medicine explains that elevated phosphate levels can lead to arterial calcification, which increases the risk of heart attacks and strokes. One long-term study by the University of Colorado tracked 3,000 participants for a decade and found a 58% higher risk of kidney disease among regular processed cheese consumers. Next, sodium. A single slice of processed cheese can contain up to 400 milligrams of sodium, a quarter of the recommended daily intake. For older adults, especially those with high blood pressure, this is like pouring salt on an open wound. Chronic high sodium intake leads to fluid retention, elevated blood pressure, and increased strain on the heart and kidneys. Then come the artificial additives. The bright orange hue, often from synthetic dyes like annatto or even petroleum-derived colorants. The smooth melt, courtesy of stabilizers and thickening agents like carrageenan and modified starch. These substances are not benign. They've been linked to allergic reactions, gut inflammation, and even potential carcinogenic effects when consumed regularly over time. But perhaps the most concerning issue is what's missing. Real cheese contains enzymes and beneficial bacteria that aid digestion and support gut health. Processed cheese is sterile, dead. It's a shelf-stable substance designed for marketing, not nutrition. Worse yet, some processed cheeses may contain trace amounts of trans fats, especially if partially hydrogenated oils were used in their production. Trans fats are universally recognized as one of the most dangerous ingredients in the modern diet, raising LDL, bad, cholesterol, lowering HDL, good, cholesterol, and drastically increasing the risk of heart disease. For seniors, the consequences are amplified. Digestive systems become more sensitive, arteries less elastic, bones more fragile. Filling your plate with food that undermines every one of these systems isn't just unwise, it's dangerous. If you love cheese, and many do, there are safer, healthier options. Look for traditionally aged cheeses made from raw or minimally processed milk. These retain their natural enzyme content, provide superior protein and calcium, and lack the chemical load of processed varieties. When choosing cheese, ask yourself, does this look like something that could sit on a shelf for 6 months without spoiling? If the answer is yes, it probably belongs more in a laboratory than on your lunch plate. Section 4. Ice cream, the cold threat to your heart and bones. It starts as a treat, a scoop of vanilla or chocolate on a warm afternoon. But for many older adults, ice cream becomes a regular habit, a comfort food, a nostalgic pleasure, a reward at the end of the day. Unfortunately, modern ice cream is no longer the simple indulgence it used to be. For those over 50, it can be a serious health hazard. Let's begin with the sugar. A single scoop of vanilla ice cream contains around 14 grams of sugar. But few stop at just 1 scoop. A typical 200 milliliter serving can hold up to 35 grams. That's nearly 9 teaspoons of sugar. And here's the danger. Sugar in frozen form is absorbed rapidly. As the ice cream melts in your mouth, the sugar enters your bloodstream almost instantly, spiking your blood sugar and overwhelming your pancreas. David Ludwig of the Harvard Medical School calls ice cream one of the most dangerous desserts for this reason. Its combination of high sugar, saturated fat, and artificial additives creates a perfect storm for insulin resistance, a precursor to type 2 diabetes. In fact, long-term data from the Nurses' Health Study, which followed over 84,000 women for 2 decades, revealed that those who regularly consumed ice cream had an 87% higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who rarely indulged. But diabetes is just one part of the story. Modern ice cream is loaded with saturated fats and often trans fats, both of which clog arteries, increase inflammation, and contribute to cardiovascular disease. This is especially dangerous for aging adults whose blood vessels may already be narrowed or hardened. When you combine these fats with a massive sugar load, the risk multiplies. Then there are the additives. Commercial ice cream is rarely made from simple ingredients anymore. Instead, it's infused with emulsifiers like polysorbate 80, stabilizers like guar gum and carrageenan, artificial flavors, and synthetic dyes. Many of these chemicals are designed to enhance texture, prolong shelf life, and intensify flavor, but they come with a cost. Polysorbate 80, for instance, has been shown in animal studies to compromise the gut lining, making it more permeable, a condition known as leaky gut. This can allow toxins and bacteria to enter the bloodstream, triggering widespread inflammation. Guar gum and carrageenan, while derived from natural sources, have also been linked to digestive issues, bloating, and inflammation in sensitive individuals, especially older adults with slower digestion. What's more, the combination of cold, fat, and sugar in ice cream has a uniquely addictive effect on the brain. It lights up reward centers in a way that few foods can, leading to cravings, overconsumption, and emotional dependence. This is not willpower failure. It's chemistry. And let's talk portion distortion. What used to be considered a family-sized tub is now labeled as a single serving. With portion sizes expanding and packaging designed to encourage consumption, it's easier than ever to eat far more than intended. For seniors watching their weight, blood sugar, and heart health, this silent excess is a ticking time bomb. And the final irony? Although ice cream contains calcium, the high sugar content actually promotes calcium loss. Sugar increases calcium excretion through the urine, meaning that more calcium is lost than gained. The very product marketed as a bone-strengthening treat may actually weaken bones over time. Add to that the sensitivity many older adults have to cold foods, triggering tooth pain, digestive discomfort, or reduced appetite, and it becomes clear: ice cream is not a harmless pleasure. There's nothing wrong with enjoying dessert once in a while. But the daily ice cream habit? That's something worth melting away. Section 5. Protein shakes. The lab drink for seniors? Marketed as convenient, nutritious, and perfect for active aging, protein shakes and milk-based meal replacements have taken over supermarket shelves and senior nutrition programs alike. But behind the glossy packaging and big promises lies a troubling reality. Many of these drinks are little more than ultra-processed chemical blends with a health halo. Let's start with the protein. Real protein, whether from milk, legumes, or lean meats, is made up of complete amino acid profiles that are slowly digested and effectively used by the body. But many protein shakes use isolates or hydrolyzed proteins that have been heavily processed to increase shelf life and blendability. These proteins are stripped of their natural structures, making them harder to digest and less effective for maintaining muscle mass in older adults. Dr. Marion Nestle of New York University warns that these isolates can be metabolically taxing for aging kidneys and may lack essential cofactors needed for absorption. In simple terms, you may be drinking protein, but your body might not be able to use it properly. Next, consider the additives. Protein shakes are often loaded with synthetic vitamins, artificial sweeteners like sucralose or aspartame, emulsifiers, stabilizers, and flavor enhancers. These compounds are designed to mimic the taste and texture of real food, but many have questionable safety records. Aspartame, for instance, has been linked to gut microbiome disruption. It may decrease beneficial bacteria while feeding harmful strains. For older adults already struggling with digestion or inflammation, this can be especially problematic. Then there are the sweeteners. Even sugar-free protein shakes can be dangerously sweet. Artificial sweeteners can fool your brain and insulin system into reacting as if real sugar is present, triggering hormonal confusion and promoting cravings. On the other hand, natural sweeteners often mask high glycemic load ingredients like maltodextrin, which spikes blood sugar nearly as quickly as glucose. And if that weren't enough, testing by Consumer Reports found heavy metals, such as lead, arsenic, and cadmium, in many popular protein shakes. These toxins accumulate over time and are especially dangerous for older adults, whose detoxification systems are often less efficient. Let's not forget the digestion issue. Liquid calories, unlike solid food, do not trigger the same fullness signals. You may drink a 300-calorie shake in under a minute and feel hungry again soon after. This lack of satiety can lead to overeating, weight gain, and increased blood sugar volatility. Worse yet, many protein shakes contain ingredients like carrageenan, which can irritate the gut lining and lead to digestive distress. There's also the issue of metabolic stress. Liquid meals are absorbed much faster than solid ones, which can overwhelm the liver and kidneys with nutrient spikes they're not prepared to handle, especially in seniors with pre-existing organ decline. A shake that claims to be a complete meal can actually be a metabolic roller coaster. And finally, there's the illusion of health. Because protein shakes are often marketed with images of athletic seniors, leafy greens, and phrases like "doctor recommended," they seem trustworthy. But unless the label lists simple, whole food ingredients with no artificial junk, that trust is misplaced. If you need a protein boost, there are better options. Opt for Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a boiled egg. If you must use a shake, make your own with unsweetened plant milk, natural nut butters, and real fruit. Your body, and especially your aging metabolism, will respond far better to real food than lab-engineered liquids. Remember, if it comes from a powder, tastes like a milkshake, and lasts on the shelf for a year, it's probably not your best friend in old age. Section 6. Safe dairy number 1. Full-fat organic yogurt with no additives. Now that we've uncovered the dangers lurking in some of the most common dairy products, it's time to focus on the good, the options that can truly support your health as you age. First on the list is a simple but powerful food: full-fat, organic yogurt with no additives. Unlike its sweetened, flavored counterparts, plain full-fat yogurt is a nutritional ally. It's rich in protein, loaded with calcium, and, most importantly, teeming with live probiotic cultures that nourish your gut and support your immune system. But why full-fat? Because fat isn't just about calories. It's a delivery system. Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble, meaning they require fat to be absorbed effectively. Skipping the fat means missing out on these vital nutrients. And for older adults, these vitamins play a crucial role in bone strength, cognitive function, and immune resilience. Full-fat yogurt also promotes satiety. Unlike low-fat versions that leave you feeling hungry soon after eating, full-fat yogurt helps regulate appetite and supports weight stability. Two key concerns for people over 50. In a study conducted by the University of Vienna, participants who consumed a daily serving of plain yogurt showed a 40% reduction in common infections compared to those who didn't. That's the power of probiotics at work. And it's not just about colds. Strong gut health has been linked to reduced inflammation, better mood regulation, and even lower risk of chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's. But the benefits don't stop there. Full-fat yogurt helps balance blood sugar. Unlike sweetened varieties, which spike insulin and crash energy levels, unsweetened yogurt digests slowly and steadily, providing sustained energy without the roller coaster. When selecting your yogurt, look for these indicators. Ingredients list. It should only include milk and live active cultures, nothing else. Fat content. Aim for 4% or more. This indicates it's a full-fat version. Certifications. Organic labels help ensure that the milk comes from cows not treated with hormones or antibiotics. Texture and taste. Real yogurt may be slightly tart or less uniform in texture. That's a good sign. It means it hasn't been overly processed. Some people find plain yogurt too sour. If that's you, try adding your own fruit, like blueberries, raspberries, or sliced bananas, or a sprinkle of cinnamon for a flavor boost without added sugar. A spoonful of ground flaxseed or chopped walnuts can also add fiber and heart-healthy fats. What about lactose sensitivity? Good news. Many people who struggle with milk can tolerate yogurt, especially when it contains live cultures. These bacteria help break down lactose and improve digestion, making yogurt a viable option for many older adults with mild dairy intolerance. There's also an emotional benefit here. Yogurt is a comfort food in many cultures. Returning to a more traditional, simple form of it, free from chemicals and excess sweetness, can be both nourishing and grounding. It's a quiet way of honoring your health and your body every morning. In the noise of fad diets and supermarket gimmicks, plain full-fat organic yogurt stands out for its simplicity, tradition, and proven health benefits. It's not flashy. It doesn't come in a rainbow-colored container. But it works. Sometimes the best health choices are the least complicated. And this one starts with a single spoon. Section 7. Safe dairy number 2, traditional kefir. Your gut's best ally. If yogurt is the gateway to better gut health, kefir is its ancient, more powerful cousin. This fermented dairy drink has been consumed for centuries in the Caucasus Mountains, where elders often live well past 90. It's not a magic potion, but it is close. Kefir is made by fermenting milk with kefir grains, a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeasts. These living organisms create a tangy, effervescent beverage that's far richer in probiotics than standard yogurt. In fact, kefir can contain over 30 strains of beneficial bacteria and yeast, compared to the handful found in most commercial yogurts. Why does this matter for adults over 50? Because with age, your gut microbiome becomes more fragile. Years of processed foods, medications, antibiotics, and stress take their toll, leading to decreased microbial diversity. This impacts everything from immunity to mood to nutrient absorption. Kefir can help restore that diversity, rebuilding the internal ecosystem your body relies on for resilience. A large-scale Russian study involving 1,000 participants found that daily kefir consumption increased average life expectancy by nearly 5 years. That's a dramatic finding, but it makes sense. The gut plays a central role in aging. A healthy microbiome reduces chronic inflammation, supports metabolism, and improves resistance to infection. Kefir is also easier to digest than milk. During fermentation, lactose is broken down by bacteria, making kefir well tolerated even by those with lactose sensitivity. The fermentation process also releases bioactive peptides, compounds that help lower blood pressure, regulate immune function, and reduce oxidative stress. Unlike many store-bought drinks, traditional kefir is unfiltered, unpasteurized, and minimally processed. That's where the real power lies. It's alive, vibrant, functional. If you're buying kefir, here's what to look for. Live and active cultures on the label. Full-fat varieties with no added sugar. Organic or grass-fed if possible. A short ingredient list. Just milk and kefir grains. Better yet, you can make your own kefir at home. All you need is high-quality milk and a starter culture of kefir grains, available online or from health stores. Add the grains to milk, let it ferment at room temperature for 24 hours, and strain. What's left is a probiotic-rich elixir that rivals any supplement on the market. Drink it on its own, blend it with berries, or use it as a base for salad dressings. However you enjoy it, kefir brings flexibility and function to your diet. What sets kefir apart isn't just its probiotic content, it's the synergy. The combination of bacteria and yeasts in kefir work together to colonize the gut more effectively. They survive stomach acid better, reach the intestines intact, and provide long-lasting benefits. For those over 50, kefir isn't just a beverage, it's a shield. Against inflammation. Against infection. Against accelerated aging. It's also a ritual. A daily act of rebuilding, nourishing, and listening to your body's quiet signals. In a world of overly processed convenience, kefir offers something rare. Living food, made with patience, that gives life back to you. Sometimes, the oldest remedies are still the best. Section 8. Safe dairy number 3, raw milk aged cheese, a bone booster. In a world of ultra-processed, rubbery cheese slices and cheese-flavored snacks, real cheese has become a rarity. But for adults over 50, embracing traditional raw milk aged cheese isn't just about taste. It's a powerful way to protect your bones, your heart, and your overall vitality. Raw milk aged cheese is made using unpasteurized milk and traditional fermentation processes. This means the cheese retains its full spectrum of nutrients, enzymes, and beneficial bacteria, none of which survive the aggressive processing used in most commercial cheeses. One of the most important nutrients found in raw milk cheese is vitamin K2. Often overlooked, K2 plays a critical role in calcium metabolism. It directs calcium away from your arteries and into your bones, where it belongs. Without enough K2, calcium can accumulate in soft tissues, leading to arterial calcification, a known risk factor for heart disease. A long-term study by Maastricht University showed that people who regularly consumed aged cheeses rich in vitamin K2 had lower rates of osteoporosis and a 25% reduced risk of cardiovascular events. That's not marketing hype. That's real, measurable impact. And it's not just about K2. Aged cheeses are high in calcium, protein, and natural probiotics that survive the aging process. These elements are essential for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and digestive health. All key concerns after age 50. Because the fermentation process breaks down lactose, many aged cheeses are also well tolerated by people with lactose sensitivity. That makes them an excellent option for older adults who need the nutrients from dairy but struggle with milk or yogurt. The key is quality. Look for cheeses labeled as raw milk or unpasteurized, aged at least 60 days, per food safety regulations. This reduces harmful bacteria risk. Artisan or traditionally made from local dairies. Free of additives or preservatives. Some of the best options include Parmigiano Reggiano, authentic Parmesan. Gouda, aged varieties are especially rich in K2. Caen, cheddar aged, not processed. Gruyere. Even a small piece of aged cheese can deliver a concentrated dose of critical nutrients. Add it to salads, pair it with fruit, or enjoy a few slices as a snack. It's nutrient-dense fuel for your body. But be mindful, not all hard cheeses are created equal. Processed block cheese or cheese products that look similar may contain synthetic additives, high sodium, or artificial colors. Always read the label. The shorter the ingredient list, the better. There's also a deeper benefit. Real cheese, especially when made by small dairies using traditional methods, connects you to a food culture that values patience, craft, and nourishment. It's not just a food, it's an experience, a heritage, and a reminder that true health often comes from the simplest sources. In a society obsessed with low-fat and fake food, aged cheese offers a delicious contradiction. Rich, full-flavored, and genuinely health-supportive. When chosen wisely, it's one of the most complete foods you can eat, and a worthy ally in your journey to healthy aging. Section 9. Safe dairy number 4 and number 5. Grass-fed milk plus homemade cottage cheese. Sometimes, the simplest shift in sourcing makes the biggest difference. And when it comes to dairy, where the milk comes from and how it's processed can determine whether it heals or harms. For aging bodies, two often overlooked powerhouses deserve attention. Grass-fed milk and homemade cottage cheese. Let's start with grass-fed milk. This isn't just a marketing gimmick. Milk from cows that graze on pasture contains a dramatically different nutrient profile than conventional milk. It's richer in omega-3 fatty acids, conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, and antioxidants, all of which play a role in reducing inflammation, protecting the heart, and supporting brain health. In a Danish study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers found that people who consumed grass-fed dairy products had a 22% lower risk of cardiovascular disease compared to those consuming conventional dairy. The reason? The anti-inflammatory and heart-protective profile of the fats in grass-fed milk. Grass-fed milk also contains more beta-carotene, which gives it a creamy yellow tint, and higher levels of vitamin A and vitamin E, both of which are vital for vision, skin, and immune function. How can you spot real grass-fed milk? Look for labels that say 100% grass-fed or pasture-raised. Choose organic whenever possible to avoid hormone and antibiotic exposure. Note the color. Grass-fed milk often has a golden hue due to higher carotenoid content. Now, let's talk about homemade cottage cheese. This humble, curd-like cheese has been a staple in traditional diets for centuries. It's low in lactose, high in protein, and easy to digest, especially when made from high-quality milk at home. Store-bought cottage cheese often contains gums, stabilizers, and preservatives. But when you make it yourself, it becomes a clean, powerful protein source ideal for aging muscles. The casein protein in cottage cheese digests slowly, providing a steady stream of amino acids that help maintain muscle mass and prevent sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. Here's how easy it is to make at home. 1. Heat grass-fed milk until it starts to simmer. 2. Add a splash of lemon juice or vinegar to curdle. 3. Let it cool and strain through a cheesecloth. 4. Season lightly with salt or add herbs for flavor. That's it. No chemicals, no fillers, just real food. Cottage cheese is also versatile. Add a scoop to breakfast with fresh fruit, mix it into savory dishes, or spread it on whole grain toast. It's a nutrient-dense way to build strength without spiking blood sugar. Together, grass-fed milk and homemade cottage cheese offer a return to basics. No fancy packaging, no artificial flavors. Just the kind of food your body recognizes, digests well, and thrives on. For adults over 50, these two dairy choices can help lower inflammation, support cardiovascular health, preserve muscle, and nourish from the inside out. And perhaps most importantly, they help restore trust. Trust in your food. Trust in your body. And trust that with the right choices, aging doesn't have to mean decline. It can mean thriving. Sometimes, healing doesn't come in a bottle. It comes in a glass of real milk or a bowl of handmade curds. Simple, natural, and deeply effective. Section 10. Conclusion. Choose consciously, age powerfully. You've now seen the contrast between dairy products that quietly undermine your health and those that can build it up from the inside out. If you're over 50, every bite matters more. Your metabolism is slower. Your digestion is more sensitive. Your bones, your heart, your immune system. All of them need real, functional nutrition. That doesn't mean cutting out dairy. It means choosing better dairy. It means reading the label, questioning the promises, not being fooled by a strawberry cartoon on the front of a yogurt cup. It means asking, does this nourish me or numb me? If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs it. Your spouse, your parents, your friends. Too many people over 50 are making choices in the dark, relying on outdated ideas and corporate messaging. Leave a comment and join the conversation.